Hello everyone, welcome to our lectures. So in this lecture, we will practice some questions based on definite integrals. In the last session, we had practiced till question number 6. So in this lecture, we will start from question number 7 and we will discuss till question number 13. The images used in our slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathi@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. So, if fx is equal to e to the power x upon 1 plus e to the power x and I1 is equal to f of minus a to f of a x g x into g of x into 1 minus x dx and I2 is equal to f of minus a into f of a g of x into 1 minus x dx, then the value of I2 upon I1 is. So see, the hint of this question is fx is given like this. I1 is given, alright, I1 is given and I2 is given. We have to compare, take the ratio of I2 upon I1. So we can easily compute the value of I1 in terms of I2. I1 can be computed in terms of I2, right? By solving this or by using certain simplification methods, right? So you try to approach this question. You have 10 seconds to solve or think about this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution. Okay, let's move to the solution part C. Given that fx is equal to e to the power x upon 1 plus e to the power x, therefore fa will be e to the power a upon 1 plus e to the power a. And f of minus a will be e to the power minus a upon 1 plus e to the power minus a, which will be equal to 1 by 1 plus e to the power a. Now on adding equation 1 and 2, we will get fa plus f of minus a, fa plus f of minus a will be equal to 1. Therefore, fa will be 1 minus f of minus a, right? Let f of minus a is equal to t, therefore fa is equal to 1 minus t, right? F of minus a is equal to t, therefore fa is equal to 1 minus t, clear? So I1 is equal to integration of t to 1 minus t, because f of minus a is t and f of a is t, right? So t to 1 minus t, x into g of x into 1 minus gx dx, right? Therefore I is equal to integration of a to b fx dx is equal to integration of a to b f of a plus b minus x into x dx. We know this, right? Therefore I is equal to integration of t to 1 minus t into c. We can use this, which will be t plus 1 minus t, which is 1 minus x into g into x into 1 minus x dx, right? X can be replaced by t plus 1 minus t, that is 1 minus x. T plus 1 minus t minus x, that is 1 minus x, right? Now adding, we have equation 3 and 4. Now adding equation 3 and 4, you will get 2I1 is equal to integration of t to 1 minus t, g of t to 1 minus t, g of x into 1 minus x dx, which is equal to I2, as you can see from here, which is equal to I2. Because t is basically f of minus a and 1 minus a, t is basically fa, right? So this term is basically I2. So I1 upon I2, I2 upon I1 is 2, right? I2 upon I1 is 2. So I think option A is the right choice. 2 is the right answer. Got it? A is the right choice. Now let's move to the next question, question number 8, which says we have to find the limit of the value of limit extending to infinity 0 to x e to the power t square dt whole square and 0 to x e to the power 2t square dt. Now see, we have to find basically extending to infinity, right? So it is infinity by infinity form, right? So in infinity by infinity form also we can apply L'Hospital rule. So when we will apply L'Hospital rule, we will have to apply Newton's Leibniz formula, right? To differentiate the numerator and the denominator, right? So in this way, you can try to approach this question. You have 10 seconds to solve or think about this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution. Okay, let's move to the solution part C. As x tending to infinity, 0 to x e to the power t square whole square dt upon 0 to x e to the power 2t square dt equal to C. It is in infinity by infinity for, therefore we can apply L'Hospital rule. So we can differentiate numerator and the denominator. Therefore it is x tending to infinity. When we will differentiate it, we will get 2 times 0 to x e to the power t square dt into e to the power x square, right? E to the power x square upon e to the power 2x square, e to the power 2x square, right? Now again it is infinity by infinity form. Therefore we will get or after simplification, that is let's move this e to the power x square in the denominator. You will get 2 times 0 to x e to the power t square dt upon e to the power x square. Again it is of the infinity by infinity form, right? Then again we can apply L'Hospital rule by differentiating numerator and the denominator. After differentiating, we will get 2 e to the power x square upon 2x e to the power x square. Now e to the power x square and e to the power x, 2 e to the power x square and 2 to the power x, x square will be cancelled out, and we are left with limit extending to infinity 1 by x, which will be equal to 0. Limit extending to infinity 1 by x, which will be equal to 0. Got it? So I think option D is the right choice. 0 is the right answer. Got it? Option D is the right choice. Okay, let's move to the next question. Question number 9, which says that we have to calculate the integral 0 to pi root over 1 plus 4 sine square x by 2 minus 4 sine x by 2 dx is equal to. See, again the hint of this question is looking very large, right? So you can simplify the question by using certain transformation, or by using certain formula, or you can, after that you can apply certain basic rule of definite integration, that is f of integration of 0 to pi fx. Suppose this is fx, can be written as equal to integration of 0 to pi f of 0 to pi fx f of pi minus x, right? Pi minus x dx. So in this way you can approach this question. Now you have 10 seconds to solve or think about this question. After 10 seconds we will discuss the solution. Okay. Okay, let's move to the solution part. So, right, see, as we know that mod of x minus a can be written as x minus a when x greater than equal to a, or minus of x minus a when x is less than a. Now, right? So root over 1 plus 4 sine square x by 2 minus 4 sine x by 2 dx can be written as integration 0 to pi integration of 1 minus 2 sine x by 2 whole square dx, and it is equal to 0 to pi mod of 1 minus 2 sine x by 2 dx, right? 0 to pi mod of 1 minus 2 sine x by 2 dx. Now it can be written as equal to 0 to pi by 3, 0 to pi by 3, see 0 to pi by 3 minus 0 to pi by 3, 1 minus, because see at x equal to pi by 3, this term is, we are getting 0 value of this term, right? At x equal to pi by 3. Therefore, 0 to pi by 3, 1 minus 2 sine x by 2 dx minus pi by 3 to pi by 3 to pi, we have added minus 1 before, so pi by 3 to pi 1 minus 2 sine x by 2 dx, right? So after simplification you will get x plus 4 cos x by 2 0 to pi by 3 minus x plus 4 cos x by 2 pi by 3 to pi, right? So after solving you will get 4 root 3 minus 4 minus pi by 3, right? So 4 root 3 minus 4 minus pi by 3, clear? So option D is the right choice, I think. Option D is the right choice. 4 root 3 minus 4 minus pi by 3. Got it? Now let's move to the next question, question number 10, which says that we have to find integration of 0 to pi x f of sine x dx is equal to x f of sine x dx is equal to, right? So see, what can we do in this type of question? We can apply integration by parts, because it is product of two terms. We can apply integration of by parts, or we can apply this formula integration of 0 to pi fx dx is equal to integration of 0 to pi f of pi minus x dx, like that, right? So in this way you can try to approach this question. So see, the hint is basically given by observing the question, that what can we do, right? What can we do? It is not necessary that what hint I have given you will also be applied in the question, right? You have to think. Hint is given basically to to analyze the question, or to make you comfortable that how we will approach this question. Okay. So on the basis of first observation of the question, I am giving the hint. Clear? Okay. So let's move to the next. Sorry. Let's move to the solution. You have 10 seconds to solve this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution. Okay. Let's move to the solution part. See, I is equal to 0 to pi x of x of sin x of x into f of sin x dx, equation 1. Therefore, I is equal to 0 to pi. We have applied this that formula that we have discussed, that is integration of 0 to pi fx dx is equal to integration of 0 to pi f of pi minus x dx. Therefore, I is equal to 0 to pi minus x f of sin pi minus x dx. Right. Therefore, I is equal to 0 to pi minus x f of c sin pi minus x. We know that sin pi minus theta is equal to sin theta. Therefore, I is equal to 0 to pi minus x f of sin x dx. On adding equation 1 and 2, we get 2i. We get 2i is equal to 0 to pi 0 to pi of f sin pi into f sin x f of sin x dx. Therefore, I is equal to pi by 2 integration of 0 to pi f of sin x dx. Right. Since we know that integration of 0 to 2 pi fx dx is basically 2 times integration of 0 to fx dx if f of 2a minus x is equal to fx, right? And is equal to 0 if f of 2a minus x is equal to minus of fx, right? That is, this case is for even function, and this case is for odd function. Clear? So we can see that this is basically even function. This is basically because not even function, because sine of pi minus x is basically sine x, right? Sine of pi minus x is basically sine x. Therefore, we can write I is equal to pi by 2 2 times integration of 0 to pi by 2 f of sin x dx. Therefore, I is equal to pi times 0 to pi by 2 f of sin x dx, right? Clear? Now put pi by 2 minus x is equal to t. Let's put pi by 2 minus x equal to t. Therefore, x is equal to pi by 2 minus t, right? X is equal to pi by 2 minus t. Therefore, dx will be equal to minus of dt, right? Now let's put dx equal to minus of dt in equation 3. In equation 3, put dx is equal to minus of dt. Therefore, we will get I is equal to pi by 2 into integration of minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 f of cos t dt, right? Therefore, it is equal to I is equal to pi by 2 integration of minus of pi by 2 to pi by 2 f of cos x dx, right? So therefore, since f of cos x is an even function, therefore it can be written as pi into 0 to pi by 2 f of cos x dx, right? Clear? Therefore, I think option C is the right choice. Option C is the right choice. Fine. Option C is the right answer. Got it? Okay, let's move to the next question. Question number 11, which says if fx is equal to x square to x square plus 1 e to the power minus t square dt, then fx increases in. We have to basically find the interval of x in which fx is increasing function. So what we had studied for the condition of increasing function. So let us remind, the condition of increasing function was we must check the value of f dash x, right? So if f dash x greater than 0, then fx is increasing function, and if f dash x is less than 0, then fx is basically decreasing function, right? So we will basically differentiate both sides to calculate the value of f dash x. And while differentiating, on the right hand side, we have to apply Newton's Leibniz formula, right, of differentiation. Okay, in this way, you try to approach this question. Now you have 10 seconds to solve this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution, okay? Okay, let's move to the solution part C. As fx is given as integration of x square to x square plus 1 e to the power minus t square dt. Therefore, f dash x will be equal to e to the power minus of x square plus 1 whole square into d upon dx of x square plus 1 minus e to the power minus of x square whole square into d upon dx of x square, which is equal to e to the power minus of x square plus 1 whole square into 2x minus e to the power minus of x square square into 2x, right? Therefore, it will be equal to 2x e to the power minus x to the power 4 after solving x square plus 1 whole square x to the power 4 plus 2x square plus 1 into 1 minus what we have done. We have basically taken this term as common, that is 2x e to the power minus x square plus 1 common, x square plus 1 whole square. Therefore, 1 into 1 minus e to the power 2x square plus 1, right? Once you will try to take common, you will get this one, right? Now, for f dash greater than 0, f dash greater, we have to find the interval in which the function basically increases. Therefore, for f dash greater than equal to 0, this part, 2x into, see, this term e to the power something will also be will always be greater than 0, right? E to the power something will always be greater than 0. Therefore, for f dash x greater than 0, we can do 2x into 1 minus e to the power 2x square plus 1 greater than 0, right? Therefore, t. Therefore, 2x should be less than 0 because this term is basically less than 0, right? Because e to the power something is always greater than 1. E to the power something is always greater than 1. E to the power 2x square plus 1 is always greater than 1. Always greater than 1, right? E to the power 2x square plus 1 because e to the power positive thing. E to the power something positive thing. And the value of e is basically 2 point something, right? So 2 point something to the power some positive thing will be greater than 1, right? So this term is basically negative, right? Therefore, this term should also be negative, 2x should also be negative for this equation, this whole equation to be positive, right? Therefore, 2x should be less than 0, right? So, x should be less than 0, clear? X should be less than 0, got it? Therefore, option D is right choice, minus infinity to 0, right? Minus infinity to 0 is the right choice, got it? Now, let's move to the next question, question number 12, which is that limit n tending to infinity, n plus 1 into n plus 2 till 3n till 3n upon n to the power 2n to the power 1 upon n is equal to 1 upon n is equal to, right? So what we can do in this question, we can apply summation of series by using definite integration, which we can do by taking n as common, Therefore, when we will take n as common, you can, after taking n as common, you can take 1 by n, as dx and r by n as x, and after that you can write in summation form, and the limit of summation will be depend upon the upper and lower limit of summation part, right? So in this way you try to approach this question. You have 10 seconds to solve or think about this question. After 10 seconds we will discuss the solution. Okay, let's move to the solution part C. Let L is equal to limit n tending to infinity n plus 1 into n plus 2 till 3n upon n to the power 2n to the power 1 by n, which is equal to limit n tending to infinity n plus 1 into n plus 2 till n plus 2n. 3n can be written as n plus 2n upon n to the power 2n to the power 1 by n, which is equal to limit n tending to infinity. It can be written as n to the power 2n. It can be written as n plus 1 upon n into 2n plus 2 upon n till n plus 2n upon n to the power 1 by n. Now, on taking log on both sides, we get log L is equal to limit n tending to infinity 1 by n taken outside, log of 1 plus 1 by n, log of 1 plus 1 by n, log of 1 plus 1 by n. See, 1 by n will come outside here, right? And n plus 1 upon n can be written as 1 plus 1 by n. N plus 2 upon n can be written as 1 plus 1 by 2. Therefore, log 1 plus 1 by n into 1 plus 1 2 by n till 1 plus 2n by n. Therefore, it can be written as log L is equal to limit n tending to infinity 1 by n into log 1 plus 1 by n plus log 1 plus 2 by n till log 1 plus 2n by n, right? Therefore, log L is equal to limit n tending to infinity 1 by n, summation of r equal to 1 to 2n, summation of r equal to 1 to 2n log 1 plus r by n, log 1 plus r by n, right? Therefore, log L is equal to 0 to 2, 0 to 2 log 1 plus x dx, where 1 plus x dx. What we have done? We have assumed 1 by n as dx and r by n as x, right? Therefore, log x is equal to, now integration of log 1 plus x we can apply, we can calculate by using integration by parts, which will be equal to log 1 plus x into x minus integration of 1 by 1 plus x into x dx, 0 to 2. Therefore, log L is equal to log of 1 plus x into x 0 to 2 minus integration of 0 to 2 x plus 1 minus x. 1 x can be written as x plus 1 minus 1 upon 1 plus x dx. Therefore, log L is equal to 2 times log 3 minus 2 times log 3 minus integration of 0 to 2 1 minus see x plus 1 upon 1 plus x is 1 minus 1 upon 1 plus x. Therefore, 0 to 2 1 minus 1 upon 1 plus x dx. Therefore, log I is equal log L is equal to 2 times log 3 minus x minus log 1 plus x 0 to 2. Therefore, log L is equal to 2 times log 3 minus 2 minus 2 minus log 3. Therefore, log L is equal to 3 into log 3 minus 2. Therefore, log L is equal to log 27 minus 2. Right. Therefore, L is equal to e to the power log 27 minus 2, which is equal to 27 e to the power minus 2. 27 e to the power minus 2, which is equal to 27 by e square, right? Which is equal to 27 upon e square. Got it? 27 upon e square. Clear? Therefore, option B is the right choice. Option B is the right choice. Got it? Now, let's move to the next question, question number 13, which says the least value of the function fx is equal to integration of 5 pi by 4 to x 3 sin u plus 4 cos u du on the interval 5 pi by 4 to 4 pi by 3 is. We have to find the least value of this equation. Clear? So this equation is basically maximum minimum form. So for the least value of this equation, what we can do? First, we can find the critical point by using f dash x, right? And how can we find f dash x? By using differentiating throughout using Newton's Leibniz formula. And once we got f dash x, then we will find f double dash x at that particular critical point. And if at x equal to f double dash x, the value of f dash x, the value of f double dash x will be less than 0, then the function will be maximum value. The function will be of maximum value, and if it is greater than 0, then function will be of minimum value, right? So we can apply this method. Also, we can use some analytical approach, which you might think, right? So you have 10 seconds to solve or think about this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution. Okay, let's move to the solution part C. We have f dash x, as we have discussed. We have f dash x by using Newton's Leibniz formula. By using Newton's Leibniz formula, we can find f dash x as 3 sin x plus 4 cos x. Now, in interval 5 pi by 4 to 4 pi by 3, f dash x is less than 0, right? F dash x is less than 0. Clear? F dash x is less than 0, as you can check. So, the function fx is decreasing function, right? Function fx is decreasing function. Therefore, if it is decreasing function, then at decreasing function in the interval 5 pi by 4 to 4 pi by 3, then at x equal to 5 pi by 4, the function will take maximum value, and at x equal to 4 pi by 3, the function will take minimum value, right? Therefore, so assume the least value at the point x equal to 4 pi by 3. Thus, f of 4 pi by 3 is equal to integration of 5 pi by 4 to 4 pi by 3, 3 sin u plus 4 cos u du, which is equal to minus 3 cos u plus 4 sin u, 5 pi by 4 to 4 pi by 3, which after putting the limit, you will get 3 by 2 minus 3 by 2 minus 2 root 3 plus 1 by root 2. Right. So option B is the right choice. Option B is the right choice, right? Minus 2 root 3 plus 3 by 2 plus 1 by root 2. Right. Option B is the right choice. Got it? So in this way, we have discussed different types of questions based on definite integration. Hope you understood the concepts behind this question, how to apply the concepts in the question. Okay. And hope you liked the lecture. Okay. Thank you so much.